Be granted. What demand? I would have never have dared demand. It was Her Majesty herself who in her goodness proposed that.
True enough, but political considerations.
Political? Me?
Oblige me, regretfully. The Duchess, your cousin, has promised to obtain you an honourable position away from London, and I count on her promise.
Oh, heavens. I shall see to it at once. Wait for me. I will speak to you after I see the Queen. To her chamber.
Thank her.
Poor Queen. Dear Lord, I ask nothing for myself, but let Arthur reach the continent safely. Let him live, and I'll renounce happiness.
I renounce nothing. Why should you?
Oh, Lord St. John, I'm so miserable.
It's in moments like these that I arrive. Now, what's the matter?
Our luck has run out. Everything is against us.
On the contrary, fortune is true to her word, prompt and punctual.
What do you mean?
Did I ever mention my cousin, Viscount Richard Bolingbroke?
I don't remember.
Cousin Richard was my most ruthless creditor. He sold my debts to the Duchess of Marlborough.
Oh, another unhelpful relative.
And a rich one. Look me over. Do I strike you as the heir to a fortune?
You, Lord St. John.
Myself in person. Now Viscount Bolingbroke, the last of that illustrious family and possessor of a vast inheritance. I come to ask for justice from the Queen, together with my honourable colleagues, the chief members of the opposition.
Justice for what?
In addition to the legacy for me, my late cousin leaves a nasty mess for the Whigs. Here's the Queen. Your Majesty, as a devoted subject and as a bereaved relative, I come to ask for justice and retribution. Richard, Viscount Bolingbroke, my noble cousin, yesterday in your palace gardens,
oh my God,
was struck down in a duel. If one can call a duel a fight without witnesses from which his assailant fled.
If my lord will permit.
How can we help but believe that those who aided his escape are those who put the sword in his hand? How can we help but believe it was the Whig ministry? Yes, your Majesty, I accuse, and the cries of the people are louder than mine. I accuse the Whig ministers. I accuse their friends and partisans of treachery. If serious troubles break out in Her Majesty's capital, it is not to us, her faithful servants, she must look, but to those around her.
Have you finished?
I have, Your Grace.
Now, here is the truth about this incident from authoritative reports I received this morning. It is, unfortunately, only too true that yesterday in St. James Park, Lord Richard was killed in a duel.
With whom?
Someone whose name he did not even know.
I ask, Your Majesty, if that is very likely.
That is what Lord Richard said. They were his last words to the courtiers who found him, and who can be seen and questioned.
No doubt, and what kind of story these courtiers will tell we can surmise from the enviable positions they occupy in the palace. But if, as Her Grace the Duchess contends, the real culprit has escaped without being seen, which would presuppose an intimate knowledge of the passages and rooms of the palace, why have no measures been taken to discover him?
They have. Her Majesty prescribes the most rigorous measures in this edict,
the execution of which we entrust to Her Grace, the Duchess, and to you, Lord St. John. I should say Lord Bolingbroke, on whom your new title and the bonds of blood impose the duty of pursuing and punishing a culprit.
I trust we'll hear no more about treachery.
My lord and gentlemen, are you satisfied?
One is always satisfied when one has seen Her Majesty and heard her speak. Thanks to this edict, I can arrest all England if I choose. But, God, what's wrong?
You have ruined us.
How do you mean?
This culprit you swore to arrest and punish.
Well?
It's Arthur!
You mean the duel? The fight?
Was with your cousin, the stranger who slapped him.
I see. So that slap was the cause of it all? The duel, today's riots, the magnificent speech I just made, and the royal edict.
Which orders you to arrest him.
Arrest him? Not likely, a man I owe so much, a title and millions of pounds. No, I have not outgrown my breeches to that extent. But I have mobilized the entire opposition behind this manhunt. Richard was a relative after all, and he was my cousin.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Why, nothing. A few speeches, a few articles in the newspaper until we're sure Masham is out of England. Then I will pursue him up and down the kingdom with a zeal that would do a cousin proud.
Oh, how good you are! How kind! That's wonderful! He left yesterday, so he should be far away by now. Ah!
You wretch! What brings you back to London?
I never left.
But I bade you farewell yesterday!
I wasn't out of the city before I heard someone galloping after me. It was a fellow officer who soon overtook me. I thought for an instant of fighting him, but I didn't want to kill another man, one who done me no harm. So I said, Lieutenant, I am at your orders. My orders are these, he said, and he handed me a packet of papers.
Well?
Can you believe it? It was my promotion to Captain of the Guards.
Virtue rewarded.
The lieutenant explained they were having a company dinner in my honor. All my comrades of the regiment. What could I do?
You came back with him?
Yes, dinner lasted half the night.
Oh, Arthur. Poor Arthur.
Why, poor Arthur?
No time to explain it. The man you fought was a cousin of mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be. His death brought me in a lot of money. Unfortunately, I've been ordered to arrest you.
I am at your orders.
No, I have no promotion to offer you and no regimental dinner.
A good thing too, or Arthur would go right along. Thank heavens they have no suspicion it was you, Arthur.
Lie low, I won't look for you very hard.
But this morning I see the Queen.
Damn.
And there's a letter ordering me to the palace every day.
A letter from whom?
My unknown protector. It came with this box.
Captain Masham.
The Queen is expecting me. Here, hold these.
What's all this about, then?
Read it.
Now you are captain. I have kept my word. Keep yours and continue to obey me. Soon I shall make myself known to you. Until then, silence and obedience to my orders. What orders, I ask you?
Not to marry.
Not to marry! Why?
Well, this mysterious protector.
Oh, and some friend of his father's or some lord.
I'll wager it's a lady.
Not Arthur! He's so young. So staunch and firm and outstanding.
Yes, that might be the problem.
I don't understand. Perhaps this postscript will give us a clue.
This postscript.
I sent Captain Masham the insignia of his rank.
Diamond clips. Very tasteful, very handsome.
Oh, heavens! I recognize these. They're from Mr. Tomwood's. I sold them myself last week.
Who bought them? Tell me.
I dare